Patch 2.6.7 is now live. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to quickly go through some of the changes and what to expect in Season 19. As always, before or just after a season ends, a new patch usually rolls out, and shortly after that, a new season begins. However, this late during the week, it's definitely not going to be on the 15th, as some people predicted. I'm thinking 22nd. Possibly 29th. I'm hoping that it'll be announced, but as of me recording this right now, no announcement right now for a Season 19 start date. So let's have a quick look and see what they've changed here and what we can expect in Season 19. So general changes, Greater Rift Keystones are now subject to vacuum pickup. Yeah, that's great. Now, here's the biggest one. So with Season 18, one of the biggest pieces of feedback apparently for Blizzard was that the buff of the Triune bonus didn't stick with your character while you adventured. Yeah, no shit. What I found with the actual power circles was, and I've said this in multiple videos during the season, was sometimes they'll appear for a split second. Before you can even get to them, they'll disappear. It was just ridiculous. I barely benefited from the power circles at all, except for those that actually managed to stay there a little bit longer and didn't just disappear within a split second before you could even actually take advantage of the power circle itself. I was mostly using the power circle from my Oculus Ring, and occasionally you'd get a power circle nearby and you can benefit from both at the same time. But that didn't happen too often, and I just thought it was buggy. I think it was a great idea and everything. They just could have taken some more time. So this time around, they've chosen a buff that's going to stick with you. And the theme for this season, and the name of it, is the Season of Eternal Conflict. And the actual buff itself is called the Pandemonium Buff. Pandemonium Buff. We're not playing poker here, I'm sorry. Which is actually exciting, and it sounds like there's a lot of in-game graphics that are going to come with this. So the way that the Pandemonium buff is going to actually work is it's a buff that stacks, and it keeps stacking every time you kill monsters. As long as you're killing monsters at least every 5 seconds, you're going to keep getting the stacks. So the more stacks you get, the more your movement speed increases, and also increases your damage to a maximum of 50% movement speed increase and 100% damage increase. So this will be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it works in Greater Rifts, where you can't actually kill monsters every 5 seconds. You actually, have to group them up and grind away. So for pushing really high in Greater Rifts, it's not going to be that beneficial, I don't think. But for farming Nephilim Rifts and lower, and if you're farming like Greater Rifts a bit lower level that you can actually just easily cream through, then this is going to be super beneficial. So when you get a certain amount of kills in a row, you get like a special buff that not only does damage, but also it sounds like it's going to give us a nice graphic on screen. So those of you with older graphics cards, maybe this will be a bit more intense on your system. You have to turn down the graphics. I don't know. Especially if you're playing in groups with so many things going on everywhere. Plus this as well. I think that games will begin lagging a little bit. But anyway, it sounds like they're pretty awesome graphics. Let's have a look at them. So the more kills you get in a row every 5 seconds, then the better, obviously, and the more damage that the actual graphic or the bonus will do. So for 15 kills, you get exploding chickens, which will seek and destroy. So I'm assuming they're going to fly down at enemies and actually not just randomly fall onto the ground. They're going to seek and destroy enemies. For 30 kills, a wide frost nova freezes enemies. For 50 kills, corpses rain from the sky. For 100 kills, 5 massive energy twisters are unleashed. Cool. Twisters, as we know, usually do a fair bit of damage. For 150 kills, dark geysers from beneath enemies. 200 kills, treasure chests fall from the sky. Treasure chests are heavy, they're going to do a lot of damage. 300 kills, a ring of fire engulfs everything. I wonder how big that ring will be. 400 kills, meteors hail from above. So meteors do a lot of damage. They're flying from space, they're on fire, they're huge, they're going to do a lot of damage. 500 kills! We've taken it to another extreme. Angels descend upon the battlefield to fight for your cause. Angels should no longer one-shot Rift Guardians. What? Why not? I think if you can sort of time your, 500 kill stack right up until that point, maybe they should one-shot kill Guardians. But that'll obviously, I don't know. I'm not too sure. I didn't play PTR, so I wasn't too sure how that worked. And then obviously for 1,000 kills, question mark, something special is going to happen. So powers are tracked at a group level. This means only one power can be active in play at a time, regardless of the number of players in a group. So that's fair enough, because otherwise, if every player had a different power at different times, then there'd be so much graphics going on. Then you'd definitely get lag and possibly dropouts. It definitely would have been a huge mess. So it's good how they've limited that to just one power in groups. 2 new seasonal rewards are available for players who fully complete the seasonal 19 journey, which will be me. I complete every season journey. The Valor Portrait Frame and the Angelic Treasure Goblin Pet. Cool. So at least we get some vaguely cooler rewards with a pet. I'm just sick of getting portrait frames that I don't ever use. Lilith's Embrace. This exclusive pair of cosmetic wings are now available for all players who purchased a virtual ticket. So if you purchased a virtual ticket to BlizzCon, then you get these special wings. So that's a bit bullshit, because I was working when BlizzCon was on and I didn't purchase a virtual ticket. And after last year's Blizzard and the terrible announcement of Diablo Immortal, I didn't really want to purchase a virtual ticket. I didn't want to watch it later either. I was pretty much only interested in the Diablo announcements. So we got Diablo 4, that was great. I don't think that was worth purchasing a virtual ticket anyway. But I think it's a bit dodgy that they try and lure you in to purchase this virtual ticket just so you can get wings. But god damn it, I actually wanted those wings. I do get sucked into things like that. I definitely like cosmetic rewards, especially wings. Wings are pretty cool. So there are 2 new full sets in this patch. One for the Crusader class, one for the Monk class. The Crusader class is changed, the 2 pieces here. So instead of charge bolts from Fist of Heavens, has a chance to cast another Fist of Heavens. Now that's gone, it's scrapped. Attacking with Fist of Heavens empowers you, allowing Heaven's Fury to deal 100% increased damage for 5 seconds. Stacks up to 3 times, so probably a better 2-piece bonus there. And obviously for the Crusader class, we're going to be focusing on the Fist of Heavens and also Heaven's Fury. So Fist of Heavens, Heaven's Fury build there. For the Monk class, I've already talked about this in a previous video. Haven't checked out the PTR, so I didn't get to test this, but as we can see, there's been a change to the 4-piece set bonus. With the Monk class, it's a heavy focus on Sweeping Wind. It's pretty much a Sweeping Wind build together with Tempest Rush. They go hand in hand, but you can probably mix it up with like Sweeping Wind and Wave of Light or something. I don't know. Wave of Light's obviously been very overpowered in recent times. So 2-piece bonus, movement speed is increased. For 4 pieces has changed now. So each enemy within Sweeping Wind increases your movement speed by 5%, stacks up to 10 times. This is gone. It's been scrapped. It's been crossed out. So now it's attacking with Tempest Rush, reduces your damage taken by 50% and increases spirit regeneration. So they're obviously trying to push us to use Tempest Rush with Sweeping Wind. And that's okay, because there's a lot of items that we can actually use in-game that will buff Tempest Rush, that both damage and give us other nice bonuses as well. So Sweeping Wind is the same. I know there's some items that will definitely buff those 2. From what I've heard, it's not as good as it was initially sounding like down on paper. It does sound like it could be potentially a really great overpowered build on paper, but I've heard that it wasn't too great. Yet to test out myself, so definitely can't vouch for that information. There are several changes to gear here, as you can see in this patch. Vengeful Wind, Chentoto's Resolve. I'm not going to go through everything one by one. This is something you all can look up. Just type in patch 2.6.7 notes, and then if there are certain items for a certain class that you're playing that you want to know about, it's all here. And scrolling on down, Legacy of Dreams. The gem is now more likely to drop from a Greater Rift Guardian. I thought that you're guaranteed a legendary gem drop every time anyway, so maybe this will allow us to get it earlier. I'm not too sure what that's trying to imply there. Monsters, Blighter. Blighter's Poison Tentacles area of effect now hits less frequently, but at higher damage. when attacking players. Okay, so a few bug fixes there, particularly looks like for the Wizard, the Archon build, Spike, Squirt's Necklace, bug fixes, and that's pretty much it. So the most important information was at the top at the very beginning, the Pandemonium buff that we're going to be receiving for Season 19. This sounds super interesting. I just hope that it doesn't turn out to be some sort of failure like the power circles. Like, once we actually get these buffs active and they actually proc, are they just going to last mere, a split second as well? Is there a chance that they can not have the full effect or something like that? I don't think so. I think they'll all have... I think the power circles maybe had a very random time where some of them could disappear. It's pretty stupid. Like, even if you had random times, none of them should have been a split second where they could just disappear before you could actually use them to your advantage or benefit from them in any way. So I think in this case, we're definitely going to benefit. I'm pretty sure every ability here has a generic effect and a generic time that it'll actually affect the area of effect, I'm assuming. But I didn't play the PTR, so I cannot confirm. It sounds like it's going to be a very interesting, very fun season to play. Cannot wait. Stay tuned to the channel. I will let you all know when Season 19 actually begins, what the start date is once it is revealed. Officially, of course, on the Blizzard website. Right now, it's just being speculated on several forums. Like, no one actually knows. They're just making assumptions based on past seasons and the amount of time between seasons in the past. It doesn't mean anything until it's actually officially announced by Blizzard. So we'll wait for that. I'll be back to let you all know when that's going to be. And of course, I'll be back to talk more Diablo 3, Diablo 4 as news comes as well. And of course, Season 19, baby. Let's go, Demon Hunters!